Hello everyone, in this video we're going to look at an example using the SSS postulate. And so before we get started with this example and seeing how the SSS postulate is applied, we first need to just recall what does the SS postulate even say. So the SS postulate says that if three sides of one triangle are congruent to three sides of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. Okay, so overall, those triangles are congruent triangles. If, again, we have that three sides of one of the triangles is congruent to the three sides of the other triangle. So now, looking at this example, it says determine if these two triangles are congruent with each other. And so on your assignment, you'll see that you won't have these triangles colored. But what helps for me is just to color them to see that they are two different triangles. They're two triangles coming together to form a parallelogram. Okay, so we know that one of the sides here for this yellow triangle is length 7, and that one of the sides for this green triangle is length 10. So now I'm going to ask you to think about what do we know about parallelograms in terms of these missing side lengths, right? Because we don't have right now given in the problem what these side lengths are, but we do know something about parallelograms that will help us fill in these question marks, right? So for parallelograms, we know that the lengths of the opposite sides are the same. Okay, and so here you can see that this side that I'm highlighting in red is opposite with this side. And so since I know that the top side here is length 10, then I'm saying that I know that this bottom side is also length 10, because again, we know that the opposite sides have the same lengths for a parallelogram. Okay, and so similar idea here, I know that this side that I'm highlighting in purple is length 7, so then that means that this side that's opposite to it, again highlighting in purple here, must also be length 7. And so now I no longer have those question marks, right? Because now I know what those lengths are. Okay, so in terms of whether or not I know that sides of each of these triangles are congruent, right? I do have that here, that I have that this side that I'm going to mark with a tick mark is congruent to this side, right? Because they both have the same length. And then I know that this side is congruent to this side, because again, they both have the same length. So now I just need to look at the third side of both of these triangles and determine whether or not they're the same, and if they are, then I can use the SSS postulate to say that these two triangles are congruent. And so the last side that you notice that we have here, that I'm going to look at in pink, is directly in the middle. Okay, and so this is serving as the hypotenuse for both of these triangles, the one in green and the one in yellow. And what we notice is since they're sharing that side length, that means that they both have the same length in terms of their hypotenuse. And so this is my third congruent side. And so since I know that all three sides are congruent, then by the SSS postulate, I can say that these triangles are congruent. So since all three sides of the triangle in yellow are congruent to the three sides of the triangle in green, then by the SSS postulate, these triangles are congruent.